Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki with my latest of my flight reports. This report comes from a game this Friday night. This past Friday night was a very quiet night, not very many human players online, and so I decided I was going to mess around in the Airacobra, the American-made but Russian-operated Airacobra. I was on 29 kills, needed one more kill in order to earn and unlock the next skin. So I set up a little Kuban take off and capture the zone game, and had just started climbing in my Airacobra to get as much altitude as possible. I find this plane a little bit awkward to fly. The guns for me are very difficult to handle, so I was trying to climb up as high as I could, and not long after I jumped in the game, I had one other player join in. A quick look at his rank showed me that he was fairly high ranked. I didn't recognize the name, so I assumed that maybe he spent a lot of time in the arcade or realistic versions of the game, but he joined in the sim, and so I took advantage of what I knew from this player, from this game, that he had just started and was taken off from his airstrip. So very early on, I fixated on the airstrip so I could watch him take off and fly and see if I could learn as much as I could about the way he flew. You cannot see his dot of his plane here, but it was visible on my 46-inch screen, so I was watching that little dot fly across the board, keeping an eye out of my right window. He flew immediately low and flat across the surface of the ground, which told me that he was not interested at all in trying to gain energy and altitude, and that also most likely he was flying a higher tier plane with a lot more energy, so he wasn't worried about flying. He wasn't worried about one of the low-level planes where he'd have to gain some energy just to be able to fly. So I figured he wasn't flying a 190 and he wasn't flying an AMIL. A quick check of the map showed me that he was headed straight for my airfield. So again, his attitude was not about going after other flyers. I thought he was going to go take off the airstrip. Now, on my checking the enemy scorecard, I could see that he was not flying a bomber, so I had a pretty good idea that he was just going to go through and either strafe my airfield or strafe the AI as they were getting ready to take off. So as he lined up straight on the airfield, I dropped my nose and went in low and fast to try to catch up to him. I did have some trouble with the trim on this plane. Every time I tried to trim it low, I wound up trimming sideways as well. So this game I was mostly just using the throttle, the flight stick in order to keep my nose down a little bit. But there he goes after his first pass. He's flown up, and this is one of those TA Dora Focke-Wulfs, so a higher tier plane, exactly what I thought. And here I put a couple shots out and he does not react at all. I had to drop my throttle back in order to stay behind him a bit. A few more shots past him, and again he doesn't react in any way whatsoever. He just continues his regular bending flight away from my airstrip, nothing evasive, which tells me he doesn't care about anybody behind him, or he doesn't possibly know. So a little hit there put him on his oil, and again, rather than evade, he begins to climb, and because he was low, he hasn't got the energy to do anything, so he climbs and goes flat. At this point, I just stay below him, keep laying lead out, and manage to trim his right wing off. So the TA-152 loses his wing, crashes into the ground, and it was at this instant exactly that he quit from the game. So in this case, my enemy was somebody who wanted a quick, easy flight in a fast plane, who didn't want to engage enemy players, and if he got shot down, he was going to quit. The game went on for a little while, but since I was alone, I'm not playing for the rest of the game for you. Enjoy and see you next time.